Hi there, welcome to another session with Sonia. In today's video, I'll be doing inverse proportions or inverse variation. Now what is inverse proportion? If we have two quantities x and y and they are related in such a way that if x increases, then y decreases at the same time. Or we can say if y increases and x decreases, then the two quantities x and y are said to be inversely related to each other. Now for example, if we have a certain number of workers doing a job, and if we increase the number of workers, say they are building a bridge, if we increase the number of workers, they will take less time to finish the same job. If we decrease the number of workers, they will take more time to do the same job. So here we can say that the number of workers is inversely related to the time taken to finish the same job. So we'll understand this with an example. So here's an example to explain the concept of inverse variation. Here I have made a table showing the number of men doing a particular job represented by the variable x and the number of days they require to finish that job represented by the variable y. So we can see that two men finished the job in 12 days. So when I double the number of men from 2 to 4, the number of days they require to do the same job gets halved. So when I double this, that is multiply by 2, this gets divided by 2. This gets halved or multiply by 1 upon 2. If I multiply the number of men by 3, 2 into 3 gives 6. The number of days they require to do the job gets divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 gives 4. If I multiply the number of men by 6, the number of days required to do the same job gets divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 gives 2 days. If I multiply the number of men by 12, the number of days required to do the same job gets divided by 12. So here we can notice that as the number of men increase from 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 12 and 12 to 24 and so on, the number of days they require to do the same job goes on decreasing. So we can see that as the number of men increases, one quantity is increasing, the number of days, that is the other quantity, is decreasing. More the number of men, they take less time to do the same job. So this is a case of inverse variation where the two quantities x and y are moving in opposite directions. When one increases, the other decreases. And another important point to note in case of inverse variation is that the product of these two values x and y, in each case this product xy remains fixed and it is equal to the constant k, constant of variation. In case of direct variation, we saw that the ratio of x upon y was fixed. Here the product of x into y is fixed. So this is the difference between direct and inverse variation. So we can define inverse variation as if two quantities x and y vary in such a manner that the product of xy is constant and it is positive, then we can say that x and y vary inversely as each other, or x varies inversely as y and y varies inversely as x. So here's another example. Suppose there's a boy called Ravi and he has to reach his school. The distance from his house to school is fixed. So he can go by 4 different ways. Either he can walk and go to his school, or he can go running if he is late, or he can go cycling to his school, or he can go with his dad by car to his school. So here I have made a table showing his speed in kilometers per hour represented by the variable x and the time he takes to reach his school represented by the variable y. So when he is going walking, he is going at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour and he takes 30 minutes to reach his school. Now when he is going running, his speed gets doubled from 3 to 6 kilometers and the time he takes to reach school gets halved. So we can see over here the speed when it is doubled multiplied by 2, the time to reach school is halved or multiplied by half. Now when the speed to reach school is multiplied 3 times, 3 into 3 gives 9, the time to reach school is 1/3 multiplied by 1 upon 3. 1/3 of 30 is 10 minutes. Now when the speed is 15 times multiplied by 15, the time to reach school becomes 1/15 of the original time. So he reaches the school in 2 minutes. Here again we can see that as the speed increases from 3 to 6, 6 to 9 and 9 to 45 and so on, the time to reach school is decreasing. That is, as one quantity, that is x, is increasing, the time to reach school, that is y, is decreasing. Both the quantities or values are moving in opposite directions. So this is a case of inverse variation. Also we can see the ratio in which the time taken to reach school is decreasing. This ratio 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3, 1 upon 15 is inverse to the ratio at which the corresponding speed is increasing. Half is inverse of 2, 1/3 is inverse of 3 and 1/15 is inverse of 15. So that's why we say that speed and time are inversely related to each other. So when the two things are inversely related, we can say that x is varying inversely to y. So we write this as 1 upon y. Or we can also say that y varies inversely to x. And another important point to note again here is that the product of x and y is always constant in each case. 3 into 30 gives 90, 6 into 15 also is 90 and so on. So we can say that the product x into y or xy is always fixed and is equal to the constant k, which is the constant of proportionality. In case of direct proportion, x upon y was equal to the constant k. Here x into y is equal to the constant k. And this is the equation of variation in case of inverse proportion. So when two quantities x and y vary inversely with each other, we can say that the product xy remains constant, and this is called as the constant of variation. So therefore I can say that the product, if two quantities x and y are in inverse variation, xy is equal to, say, constant k, and also this product is always positive. So if I have two sets of values, y1 and y2 are the corresponding values of y with respect to x1 and x2, which are the values of x. So from this I can say, this property I can say that the product of x1, y1 will also remain constant, that is equal to k. So this is my first equation, and for the second set of values also I can say that x2, y2 will also remain constant, again equal to k. We have also done in the previous two examples. The product always remains same of the two values. So from these two equations, since both are equal to k, I can equate them. I can say that the product of x1 into y1 will be equal to x2 into y2, because both are equal to k. So I can equate them from 1 and 2. Now if I bring the x values together and the y values together, I can write this as x1 upon x2 will be equal to y2 upon y1. Now here is the difference between direct and inverse variation. x1 upon x2 is equal to y2 upon y1, whereas in case of direct variation it will be x1 upon x2 is equal to y1 upon y2. Now if I write this in the ratio form, I can write this as x1 is to x2 is equal to y2 is to y1, or I can also say that x1 is to x2 is proportional to y2 is to y1. That is, the ratio of any two values of x is equal to the inverse ratio of the values, corresponding values of y. In case of direct variation, I can say that when two quantities x and y vary directly with each other, the ratio of x upon y always remains same, and that is equal to the constant of variation. So I can say that the ratio of x upon y is equal to, say, k, constant, which is positive. If I have now two sets of values, y1 and y2 are the corresponding values again of y with respect to x1 and x2, which are the corresponding values of x. So I can say, in case of direct variation, x1 upon y1, this will remain same, say equal to k. So this is my first equation. I can also say that x2 upon y2 will also remain same, equal to k. So this is my second equation. Now since both are equal to k, I can equate them. x1 upon y1 will be equal to x2 upon y2 from 1 and 2. Now if I cross multiply, I get x1 into y2 is equal to x2 into y1 by cross multiplying. Now if I bring the x values together, I can write this as x1 upon x2 is equal to y1 upon y2, and this is where the difference lies from inverse variation. In case of inverse variation, I have x1 upon x2 is equal to y2 upon y1. Here I have x1 upon x2 is equal to y1 upon y2. That is, if I write this in the ratio form, x1 is to x2 is equal to y1 is to y2. That is, the ratio of any two values of x in case of direct variation is equal to the ratio of the corresponding values of y. Whereas in case of inverse variation, the ratio of any two values of x is equal to the inverse ratio of the corresponding values of y. I can also write this as x1 is to x2 is proportional to y1 is to y2. Now here is a question. In which of the following tables A and B vary inversely? I have been given certain values of A and B and two tables. I have to check in which of the table the values of A and B vary inversely. So there are two ways of doing this. First of all, when I know if two quantities are in inverse variation, the product of A into B, that is AB, is equal to the constant K. So I can use either this method or I can use another method which I have just explained, that the ratio of, if two quantities A and B are in inverse variation, ratio of A1 is to A2 will be equal to the ratio of B2 is to B1, inverse ratio of B. So the first table I will do by the first method, checking the product of the two quantities. Now the first case, the product is of A and B is 9 into 8. So first sum I am doing 9 into 8 is 72. In the second case, I have 18 into 4, the values of A and B, which is again equal to 72. In the third case, I have 2 multiplied by 30. A is 2 and B is 30, which gives 60. Now 60 is not equal to 72. And the fourth case, also it is 12 into 6, which is 72. So since one of the values is not equal to the others, I can say that A and B do not vary inversely in this case. Now I will do the second table by the other method. So the ratio of, I have to check, I can take this value as A1. These are the corresponding values of A. This as A2, A3 and A4. And the values of B as 40 is B1, 5 is B2, 10 is B3 and 20 is B4. So, in order to be in inverse variation, the ratio of A1 is to A2 should be equal to B2 is to B1. So, in the first case, A1 is to A2 is 2 upon 16. This should be equal to B2 is to B1, that is 5 upon 40. 2 ones are 2 eights are, 5 ones are 5 eights are. So, I get 1 upon 8. So, since the ratio is equal to 1 upon 8 in both cases, these two vary inversely. Now, I check for the other values also. Now, I take A2 is to A3 is equal to, I will check whether it is equal to B3 is to B2. So, A2 is 16 is to A3, 8 should be equal to B3 is to B2, that is 10 upon 5. 8 ones are 8 twos are, 5 ones are 5 twos are. So both the ratios are equal to 2. Since they are equal, again they show an inverse variation. Now the third set of values, that is A3 is to A4, should be equal to the inverse. B4 is to B3. What is A3? 8 upon 10 should be equal to, sorry, A3 is 8 upon 4 should be equal to 20 upon 10. So 4 ones are 4 twos are, 10 ones are 10 twos are. Both the ratios are equal to 2. All the sets of ratios are equal of A and B. I can say that this table shows an inverse variation. You can also check by the product. 2 into 40 gives 80. 16 into 5 also is 80. 8 into 10 is also 80. And 4 into 20 is also 80. So in each case, the product of AB is equal to the constant K, which is 80. So whichever method you like, you can do and check. Here's another question. If A and B vary inversely, fill in the blanks. So here we are given that the two quantities A and B vary inversely. And we know that when two quantities vary inversely, their product is equal to the constant K. That is, AB is equal to K. So we can find the missing values using this value of K. To find the value of K, we will find a column where both the values of A and B are given to us. And in the first column, we can see that value of A is 8 and B is 10. So from this, we can find the value of K. So therefore, we can say that AB is equal to K. So 8 into 10 is equal to K. Therefore, K is equal to 80. So to find the next value, here the value of A is given as 2, B is not known. So we can take value of B as X and find it. We can say that 2 into X is equal to the constant K. Therefore, X is equal to 80 divided by 2, which is equal to 40. In the third column, A is not given to us. Again, we take A as X. Therefore, 20 into X is equal to 80. So, value of X here is 80 divided by 20, which is equal to 4. So, this is 4, this is 40. In the last column, we have 5 into X is equal to 80. Therefore, X is equal to 80 divided by 5. 5 ones are, 5 goes once, 5 6 are, which is equal to 16. So, the value of B is 16 in the last column. So, I hope the concept of inverse variations was clear to all of you. In my next video, I'll be doing certain examples based on inverse variations. Till then, take care. Have a good day. Bye.